Hey Todd, I wanted to ask you about Carl Grundstrom and just what he's brought to the team and what you've seen from him during your time with the club.
Well, Grunny for me is a much more confident player this year. He feels better about his game, and as a staff, we feel better about him. So I'm sure all of that goes together, and as a result, he's been playing some tremendous hockey for us. He uses size, strength, and kind of a bully mentality on the ice to get the job done. But I think it was always there. It was just connecting with us as a staff, with his teammates, and Granny's a competitor. He's very hard on himself when things don't go well, and we've tried to get him to relax a little bit and understand that you can't play the perfect game, but he's played extremely well for us over the last little bit.
Next up is Dennis Bernstein.
Todd, we'll stay on track with the Swedes here. So on Kempe, you've increased his minutes significantly since game 2 against the Avalanche. And the criticism him over the years has been his consistency. So how does a player work on his consistency as opposed to something physical like working on the wrist shot or gap control?
Well, preparation and execution are the two things in my mind. I think Adrian has had a tremendous season to this point, although the Minnesota game last night, I think there's more in Adrian, and that's where the consistency comes in. Not every game is played the same way. It's not always a skating, puck moving, free flowing game. A lot of times it's in the trenches and along the boards, and he's got a big body. He's got real good legs. He's strong. He's smart. I think he can use that a little more to his advantage in some of those grind out nights. And, so preparation and execution are the two things that he has to continue to work on. But, thus far he's confident. He seems to have matured a little bit more. Feels like he belongs in the top 6, and for the most part, he's performed that way.
Thanks, Todd.
Any more questions for Todd? Last one here from Jack Harris.
Todd, just kind of revisiting the goals that you were talking about at the start of training camp about, wanting to reestablish the stuff from last year and then build on it. I mean, as you kind of wrap up, a month later, are you still in that reestablishing phase? Are there parts of the game where you guys have been able to start adding things in and taking some of those steps? I mean, kind of where is that in your view?
We're still, it varies depending on certain parts of our game. We're still reestablishing. At the beginning of every season, you're bringing along new players in a new environment. And the analogy I guess I could use as a classroom, not everybody's at the same spot at any given time. And you have to appease the ones that are further ahead and challenge them. And the ones that are behind, you've got to get them caught up. And we're kind of in that mix right now. It's still early enough in the season. And, but for the most part, I think we've reestablished what's acceptable and unacceptable as far as work ethic and professionalism. Our practice habits have been quite good. We've been able to adjust some things structurally or systematically, and most of the players have been able to adapt to it quickly, which is a real good sign. I didn't think we had that at the beginning of last year. So we're reestablishing, but we're also bringing some new thoughts and ideas into the game as well. So it's in between.
Given that, is it sort of your hope or expectation that this is a team that can kind of steadily keep improving as the season goes on?
Well, it better be. That's what we expect. Our record right now is better than it was last year at this time. With that being said, I still think there's part of our game that has to get better. The consistency has to be there for us. But as we go forward, I think we can grow our game. I think we can improve every day. And that will be the goal. There's no reason to give anything back at any time. Things, especially with things that we can control, the opposition sometimes gets in the way. They just play better than you do. Fatigue comes into play. Injury comes into play. They're not excuses, they're realities. But the things that we can control, we don't plan on slipping or taking steps backwards. So we're going to stay on top of the group as much as we can.